Hello and everyone, welcome to TBC News, our top stories. Zanzibar exhibits enormous strides in education. Tanzania to register multi-billion-dollar projects in 2024-2025. Good evening, I am Faida Gaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, says Zanzibar boasts of massive progress in the education sector as the island is marking 60 years of revolution, witnessing enormous improvement of education infrastructure at all levels, leading to an increase in the number of students from 25,432 in 1964 to 592,781 students in 2023. The Vice President made the remarks while inaugurating the Jendele Primary School located at the Unguja Central District, Zanzibar, as part of the celebrations to mark 60 years of the Zanzibar Revolution. Dr. Mpango insists that human capital is a crucial pillar in bringing about social and economic development in the country, hence the importance of quality education to fully contribute to the nation-building process.
Now, in these 60 years of revolution, the people of Zanzibar have the right to be proud of the big steps that have been taken in various sectors, including the education sector, the increase and improvement of education structures at all levels, and the increase in the number of students.
The Vice President mentions other achievements on the area of education, which include the improvement of learning and teaching methods for students with special needs, also the increase of the number of universities that offer higher education. Dr. Mpango reassures both governments' commitment led by President Samia Suluhu Hassan and Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi to make the education sector a priority so as to build an educated society with relevant skills. Let's have a look at other stories now. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has inaugurated the Zanzibar North Region Hospital, Pangatupu, located in the Unguja North Region, which has the capacity to serve more than 100,000 people in the district. Speaking after officiating the hospital worth 6.7 billion shillings, the Prime Minister says the hospital will relieve the residents of traveling long distances to get health services. Majaliwa insists that the construction of the hospital is the implementation of the mission of the President of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, to ensure that his government invests in the health sector for the welfare of society.
Infrastructure in this hospital will enable us to set up camps for other treatments and doctors from various countries to come and help the citizens. For example, our leaders can have friends who are eye specialists and invite them to their regions. This area will also be able to accommodate those specialists.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister has instructed the Ministry of Health to conduct a detailed assessment of the needs of the hospital. Minister of State, President's Office, Planning and Investment, Professor Kitila Mkumbo, says the government of Tanzania expects to register projects with an estimated value of $15 billion until the year 2025, exceeding the value of $5.6 in 2023. He made the announcement when he met and held talks with journalists on the campaign to inspire local investment across the country, which started on the 8th of January and is expected to end on February 9th this year.
Let's do our best that by the year 2025 we are able to attract projects worth $15 billion. That is approximately 40 trillion Tanzanian shillings.
Among the objectives of the campaign is to educate Tanzanians on various incentives that are offered to Tanzanians who register businesses through the Tanzania Investment Center, TIC.
if you import a refrigerated commercial vehicle and your business is TIC registered, you will get 100% customs duty exemption.
The 504 projects registered in the year 2023, 45% are owned by Tanzanians, 29% by foreigners, and 26% are joint venture projects. In other news, Director of the Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, Gilad Terry, says the investment sector in the country has grown by more than 60% in 2023, registering 504 projects with a capital of more than $5.6 billion compared to the year 2022, whereby 272 projects were registered with a capital of more than $300 million. Here's a report by Nazareth Ndekia, read by Mariam Ubiru.
Speaking after visiting the investment areas in Geita, the executive director of the Tanzania Investment Center, Gilad Terry, says the center has started a national campaign to encourage investment.
Pili, tulisajili miradi takribani 272 na 73.
In 2022, we registered about 272 to 273 projects. Last year, 2023, we registered 504 projects, which is increase of 60% within 1 year. But the projects that has been registered in 2023, about half of them are Tanzanian projects.
Acting Geita Regional Commissioner, who is the District Commissioner of Geita District, Cornel Magembe, says that Geita region has many investment opportunities, starting from tourism, agriculture, livestock and minerals.
Watu wanaambiwa Tanzania kwamba tunafungua milango kwa wawekezaji.
When people were told that we are opening the doors for investors, they thought that we are referring to foreigners. But it turns out that it means investment by Tanzanians aligning with foreigners. The mining sector here has the most investors.
Some investors thank the government for creating conducive environment for investment.
We have been exempted from some taxes. This helps the business grow. I think there are many opportunities and Tanzanians should not be afraid to invest. Let's start a little bit. In the end, we will make it.
The 5 ferries being built by the government to start providing services in various areas of Lake Victoria are expected to be completed within 5 months and reduce the risks faced by travelers living in various islands of Lake Victoria. Here's a report by James Larombo, read to you by Teddy Paranyanga.
The government has invested more than 30 billion Tanzanian shillings to build 5 ferries which are expected to serve Lugezi Kisoria, Ijinga Kahangara, Bwira Bukondo and Boyagu Barika routes. The Mwanza Regional Commissioner, Amos Makala, arrives at the site to inspect the progress of the construction of the ferries.
I have witnessed that there are big changes. Continue with the good work. According to the schedules of the ferries, the ferry that has been under construction for a long time will be completed by the 29th of April this year. The rest will be completed in February, March, and April.
The construction of the ferries is still ongoing, and the expectation is to be completed on time and with the intended quality.
Since we make a close follow-up, we are sure that once the construction is completed, it will be up to standard and consider the safety of citizens. We also expect that once they start operating, they will increase the nation income. We will continue to work hard day and night in order to ensure that we achieve the goals we have agreed upon between Songoro, Malin, and Temesa.
Also visiting the workshop are the members of the National Defense College NDC to eyewitness the performance of the company, led by the head of the college, Major General Ambassador Wilbert Ibuge.
They have shown us how the private sector has capability to expand across nations such as Uganda, Kenya, even up to Comoro. This helped to attract foreign currency and build strategic skills for our people.
The success of this local contractor to these officers from various countries around the world is said to bring productivity in the African continent.
Kwa kweli kwa mkandarasi huyu ameonyesha juhudi kubwa sana na ni mfano kwa makandarasi wengine.
This contractor has shown great efforts and is an example of how other local contractors can implement various government projects by using their own skills and manpower.
Now, from Mwanza, let's come back to Dar es Salaam, where we're told the Rector of Water Institute, Adam Karia, says the international conference on water management that will be held for 3 days in Dar es Salaam is an opportunity for the institute to learn modern methods in solving the challenges of access to clean and safe water that are caused by climate change. Speaking to TBC News, Dr. Karia elaborates that the conference is also a part of the preparations to celebrate 50 years of the establishment of the institute.
Speaking to TBC News, Dr. Karia explains the conference is also a part of the preparations to celebrate 50 years of the establishment of the institute.
As a water institute established in 1974, and if you calculate to date, 2024, we're having 50 years. The philosophy here is teach one, each one, teach one. We shall be getting opportunity to be taught and they learn from ourselves. We welcome everybody. That means the user, direct user for the water, but also those who can be touched from the services we are offering. But we cannot do alone. We need people to know exactly what we do, but we need also to know exactly what people they can offer.
Furthermore, Dr. Karia says the conference will also open business opportunities between the water sector and other stakeholders from other countries, while some students of the Water Institute express their expectations towards the conference.
You know, there will be an essence of connection. That people will be meeting, and there is also the possibility of starting fresh business from the connectivity that we are going to have.
For example, as a water engineer, we need to learn new technology for exploring groundwater, new technology for designing water supply project.
We have been designing water schemes using the past and the earlier technologies. But since we have the scientific conference soon, I think that we as the students, we are going to gain more experience about designing water schemes.
The former president of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, is expected to be the official guest of honor at the opening of the conference, which will be held from January 31st to February 2nd, 2024 at Mlimani City in Dar es Salaam.
East African countries have been urged to start using relevant resources they possess to reduce the risks of climate change in important economic sectors such as mining and agriculture, so as to overcome effects of recession predicted by the World Bank. The call has been made by an economic expert who is also a lecturer at the Dar es Salaam University College of Education, DUSE, of the University of Dar es Salaam, Professor Abel Kinyondo, following the World Bank citing climate change to be one of the reasons that will hinder economic growth of African countries.
Kama ambavyo tutawaambia wenzetu wa nchi zilizoendelea kwamba mnasababisha haya matatizo.
If we tell the developed nation that they are causing these problems, we should start by looking at ourselves, such as the mining sector. Your contribution to environmental destruction is huge. Let us work together to eliminate that as well as industry. At the end of the day, we need to come up with our own ways of fighting against this and improving our lives. We have gas. Why are we still using charcoal and firewood to cook?
The World Bank report states that the world's economy will slow down for the third year in a row, whereby it is expected to drop from 2.6% in 2023 to 2.4% in 2024. The executive director of the Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, Gilead Terry, says the center has launched a nationwide campaign to encourage domestic investment and inspire Tanzanians to take full advantage of the economic opportunities available in the country, including fishing, agriculture and tourism. Speaking in Mwanza, the executive director added that the campaign that has started in the Mwanza region will be held throughout the country to enable Tanzanians to benefit fully from the ongoing economic reforms in the country. Is a report by Moses Matthew, read to you by Kanki Mwagumule.
The Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, has launched a campaign to encourage local investment. The TIC Executive Director, Gilead Terry, elaborates the goal of the campaign that starts in Mwanza region.
We are motivating the participation of Tanzanians to benefit from the economic reforms that are currently happening in the country. When people hear the terminology investor, they often refer to foreigners. One thing that they should know is that the investment law of 2022 has expanded the scope to ensure that Tanzanians have 10 times the opportunity to benefit from investment centers or invest compared to foreigners.
Among the major investment opportunities available in Mwanza region are fishing, agriculture, transport and tourism.
We have started this campaign in Mwanza, but we shall travel to all regions of Tanzania, educating Tanzanians that to invest is not as difficult as how people they may think. The business environment is good and the government has many attractions aimed for investment.
The advent of the campaign is to encourage local investment in Mwanza region, touches the Mwanza Regional Commissioner, Amos Makala.
It is an opportunity now for local investors to understand that the government has strengthened the tariff systems, but also the investment law, a good environment and how to get license information in a short period of time.
The Chief Executive Officer of Alexander Cakes urges young Tanzanians to commit themselves more in what they believe in so as to achieve relevant goals, especially in entrepreneurship. He made the remarks immediately after winning 4 famous international awards known as Top Baker Awards, which were held in Nigeria as the only representative from the East African region, whereby he succeeded in winning the Top Baker Awards for the year 2023.
Something that I can advise young people is to feel proud of what you are doing. For example, if you are selling clothes, do it with more skill and quality. The course that I studied in college was information technology. I started my business through social media platforms, and I used to work hard so that to achieve more.
On the other hand, Alexander Vitalis elaborates in detail the reasons that led him to win the Baker Awards for the year 2024.
One among the criteria which was used to select a winner was based on creativity and on how you create the value of your product in presentable way. All these factors lead me to win these awards.
The categories that Alexander has won include Baker of the Year, People Choice Awards Highest Votes, Best Gravity-Defying Cakes, and the Best in Show Awards. Now, before we wind up local news, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Now stay tuned for all the latest in international news. Here's international news as compiled and read by Nyambona Masamba.
Nowhere is safe in Gaza, and Israel actions for a calculated pattern of genocide intent. That's the argument South Africa has presented on the opening at the International Court of Justice. South Africa is accusing Israel of intentional attempting to destroy a substantial part of Palestinian national, racial, and ethnic group. It is a prolonged assault on Gaza. It is calling on the court to impose on Israel to immediately stop its attacks. South Africa Minister for Justice says there is no excuse the genocide in Gaza.
The world is watching horror as Palestinian men, women, and children were slaughtered, blown up, buried alive under the rubble of their homes, left to die painful deaths and in unresourced hospitals, resulting in over 23,000 deaths through destruction to homes, schools, hospitals, water, treatment plants, and other public infrastructure.
From Europe, we're heading to Africa. Officials in Somalia said Al-Qaeda-linked Islamic group Al-Shabaab on Wednesday killed a person and captured 5 others on a United Nations helicopter in central Somalia. The helicopter made an emergency landing in Shidal village in an area controlled by fighters in Galdoud region of Galdoud State. Minister of Internal Security of the Galdoud State said 6 foreigners and 1 Somali national were on board. He added that Al-Shabaab fighters detained 5 passengers and another one shot dead while he was trying to escape. 1 passenger remained at large. Al-Shabaab has not claimed responsibility for the attack. National broadcast SMTV reported that the helicopter was being used for emergency assistance and the army launched a rescue operation. To Sahara, Morocco on Wednesday voted to lead the United Nations Human Rights Council after beating a challenge from South Africa. In a vote in Geneva, Morocco's ambassador Omar Zimba was elected council president after polling 30 votes. His Southern African opponent Nkolisi Kosi managed just 17. The ballot came after Africa was turned out to Presidential of Human Rights Council failed to agree on a single candidate. Prior to the vote, South Africa could decide Morocco's human rights record, saying the kingdoms as a chair of the council will stain the UN rights body legitimacy. Morocco is viewed by several Africans as an occupied power in Western Sahara. The council was established in 2006 with a mandate to protect and to promote human rights. To East Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, Constitutional Court has confirmed President Felix Tshisekedi landslide victory for a second term in office. Its rule on Tuesday, the court also rejected an appeal by a candidate who came in last on annulled results. 9 opposition candidates had signed a declaration late December rejecting the result of the election and describing it as shame. The Middle East, the World Health Organization WHO has cancelled the mission to northern Gaza on the 6th time in 2 weeks. The World Health Organization WHO has cancelled the mission to northern Gaza on the 6th time in 2 weeks. The chief of the WHO says it has called off after Israel rejected its request and said safe passage couldn't be assured. He urged Israel to allow its team to enter to deliver humanitarian aid. And Jordan's King Abdullah and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have agreed to increase pressure in Israel in an attempt to put an end towards Gaza offensive. The 2 leaders have met in Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the Jordanian city of Akbar. They said they have rejected the Israel plans to separate Gaza from the occupied West Bank, stressing the 2 territories are the core of future Palestinian state.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, Tanzania football analyst Gabriel Anthony believes that the participation of Taifa Stars in the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast this year is a good start to develop a strong squad for the AFCON 2027. Football analyst Gabriel Anthony told TBC News in Dar es Salaam that this is the only opportunity to build a strong team for the upcoming AFCON 2027 as the main host nation.
This is an opportunity for Tanzanians and technical bench to use more young players for the upcoming 2027 competition, something that will benefit Tanzanians for upcoming games.
Taifa Stars kicks off the AFCON 2023 against Morocco on January 17th in Group F matches, and soccer fans believe that Tanzania is in a better position to perform well this time, as they have never won any game in the last 2 AFCON tournaments. Cricket national team head coach Jimmy Kamande says preparations for the Tanzania cricket national team indicate that they are ready to compete in the International Cricket Competitions ICC in Malaysia next month. Jimmy adds that the players are eager to perform better in the international cricket competitions in Malaysia so as to promote the country internationally.
Our players are going to show off themselves. So when you look at them, they are everything, and our job is to make sure that every player is comfortable so as he can build his life through sport.
Currently, the Tanzania cricket national team is preparing for international cricket competitions that will be held in February in Malaysia. In other sports news, Tanzania boxing promoter Abdul Salim believes that boxers engaging in international fights could enhance productivity for promoters and provide valuable competition for our homegrown talents. Salim, a promising local promoter, expressed his intention to organize a significant boxing event aiming to pave a way for local boxers on the international stage.
Mechi za nje zina advantage kubwa sana ya kuwakuza mabondia wetu kuliko mechi za ndani.
Outdoor match have great benefit to build up local boxers, but indoor match, many boxers know each other, but for foreigner boxers, it's their chance to show what they have.
Currently, the boxing industry in Tanzania has gained popularity due to some changes made technically and administratively. And on that note, we are ending our news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.